Good evening, and thank you for staying tuned with us on Citizen FM 93.7, Abuja, Nigeria. Here is the news at 6. I am Bolawole Makinde. The headlines. Federal government attributes Nigeria's healthcare failure to mass migration of doctors. Federal High Court appoints 9 judges. And Saudi Arabia offers Lionel Messi deal of over $350 million. And now the news in full. The federal government has attributed Nigeria's healthcare sector failure to the mass exodus of the most knowledgeable and highly trained doctors, nurses, and pharmacists from the country. Minister of Health Dr. Osage Ehanire disclosed this at the President Muhammadu Buhari scorecard in the health sector organized by the Federal Ministry of Information and Culture in Abuja. Ehanire further explained that the federal government cannot stop the mass exodus of health professionals, but is trying to remedy it by speeding up the training of young practitioners. He added that a new mechanism is being set up now to engage Nigerian doctors, nurses, and pharmacists in the diaspora and connect them with universities and hospitals in Nigeria to transfer knowledge. The Independent National Electoral Commission has extended the deadline for registered voters to collect their permanent voters' cards until January 29, 2023. National Commissioner in charge of Information and Voter Education Committee at the Commission, Mr. Festus Okoye, disclosed this in a statement issued in Abuja. It would be recalled that INEC had earlier fixed the deadline for the collection of these items for Sunday, January 22, 2023. The Commission also vowed to punish any staff found to have extorted or discriminated against any registered voter in the issuance of the PVCs. Former President Olusegun Obasanjo has debunked claims of an alleged plot to rig the 2023 elections. The viral story had claimed that the former president was allegedly planning to collude with the Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) to rig the exercise. However, Kehinde Akiyemi, special assistant on media to Obasanjo, said, quote, "The viral trending story on the alleged plan by the former president to collude with the electoral body in the presidential election of February 25th is completely false," unquote. The provisions of the Investments and Security Bill, recently passed by the House of Representatives, is expected to inspire confidence of both local and foreign investors, as they can be assured that the regulators have been sufficiently empowered to deal with malpractices that undermine confidence in the market. This was stated by the Chairman, House of Representatives Committee on Capital Markets and Institutions, Babangida Ibrahim, during an interview in Abuja. Ibrahim stated that foreign investors and market participants will also be attracted to the Nigerian market because they will have comfort in the fact that the bill seeks to mirror standard investor protective provisions and practices in advanced jurisdictions, which the foreign participants are already familiar with. The Chief Judge of the Federal High Court, Justice John Tehama Toso, has announced the appointment of 9 new judges for the court, separate from the earlier 15 judges recently approved. Catherine Obi Christopher, Assistant Director of Information of the court, in a statement said the CJ, in the exercise of his constitutional powers and consequent upon the approval by the Chief Justice of Nigeria and Chairman, National Judicial Council, Justice Olukayode Ariwola, for the appointment of a further 9 judges, separate from the pending exercise for the appointment of the 15 judges earlier approved. It further stated that the exercise for considering candidates for possible appointment to the bench of the Federal High Court with regards to Bayelsa, Ebonyi, Gombe, Ogun, and Oyo states will soon commence. The total budget deficit under the President Muhammadu Buhari administration is set to hit 47.43 trillion naira, according to analysis of the federal government's data from the Budget Office of the Federation. According to Investopedia, a budget deficit happens when expenses exceed revenue. According to data, deficit financing has risen by 370.54% from 2.41 trillion naira in 2016 to 11.34 trillion naira in 2023. In the third quarter and fourth quarter of 2015, total deficit financing amounted to 841.48 billion naira. It rose to 2.41 trillion naira in 2016, 3.81 trillion naira in 2017, 3.65 trillion naira in 2018, 4.18 trillion naira in 2019, 6.59 trillion naira in 2020, and 6.44 trillion naira in 2021. The Federal Capital Territory Administration has hinted on prosecuting a cartel said to be involved in illegal street naming in Abuja. This was even as it said the legal battle between the FCTA and the Abuja Municipal Area Council over the matter would be resolved amicably with the understanding of all stakeholders. Coordinator, Abuja Metropolitan Management Council Umar Shuaibu stated that while the ruling of the FCT High Court on the street naming has been appealed, all stakeholders, including the AMAC leadership, have agreed to set up an interagency committee to consider all factors around it. He clarified that the FCTA was not taking over AMAC's responsibilities, but doing what the law permits it to do as a major provider of infrastructure in the capital city. The Executive Vice Chairman, Chief Executive, National Agency for Science and Engineering Infrastructure, Professor Mohammed Sani Haruna, has said that President Muhammadu Buhari approved 24.4 billion naira for phase 1 of the nation's smart irrigation scheme. Haruna spoke at the foundation laying of the Agricultural Machinery and Equipment Development Institute in Obudu, Cross River State, to serve the entire South-South. And as part of an all-year-round bumper harvest plan, Haruna said the federal government had decided to establish 6 AMEDs in each of the nation's geopolitical zones. In sports, Saudi Arabian club Al Hilal are ready to rival Cristiano Ronaldo's Al Nassr by offering Lionel Messi a mouth-watering deal of up to $350 million a year. Messi, a Paris Saint-Germain player, has his contract expiring in the summer, making him a free agent in less than 6 months. Messi's PSG contract expires at the end of the present season on June 30th, but the Saudi giants are willing to pay his transfer fee to have him now fight their rivals Al Nassr in the Saudi League and play for them in the Club World Cup scheduled for February. And that has been Citizen FM News at 6. I am Bolawala Makinde. The news was edited by Aisha Shoaibu Badegi. But before we go, here is another look at the headlines. The federal government has attributed Nigeria's healthcare failure to mass migration of doctors. The Federal High Court has appointed 9 judges. And Saudi Arabia has offered Lionel Messi a deal of over $350 million. To listen to us online, do visit www.citizenfm.ng and follow us on social media. Facebook at Citizen FM Abuja, Instagram at Citizen FM 937, and Twitter at Citizen FM 937. Good evening.
Citizen FM Abuja, now we be the voice of the people.
Registration for UTME into Nigerian tertiary institutions begins January 14 to 14th February 2023.
Candidates must check their eligibility before commencing registration, scanning the QR code provided by JAMB for the e-brochure and e-syllabus.
Each candidate must create a profile using only one phone number.
Simply send your NIN by SMS to either 55019 or 66019. A profile code of 10 characters is received by the candidate to purchase the UTME/DEEP. Candidate Candidates can buy the e-pins from the banks or the vending agents through their e-wallets. Registration fee, inclusive of all relevant charges, is 6,700 naira with mock exam or 5,700 naira without mock exam. Candidates are not to pay any other fee at the CBT center, as the fee stated is consolidated. Direct entry registration costs 4,700 naira and starts 20th February to 20th April 2023. JAMB, enhancing academic excellence.